What's up, it's Austin Rutherford. What we're talking about today is where I see most people fail. And if you can do this one thing along with actually putting the work in, but if you can do this one thing along with the work, you can become a millionaire. So what is that one thing? That one thing is actually accepting responsibility for what happens in your life. Very, very few people actually do this. Everybody loves to point the finger at other people. Well, it's your fault you did this. No, it's your fault you did that. Well, no, it's your fault you did this. Everybody loves pointing the fingers at other people. And while we're talking about fingers and pointing and stuff, make sure you use that finger to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It'd be greatly appreciated. So let's start with what does not accepting responsibility look like. And I'm gonna be as real as I can with you right here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is gonna hurt a lot of y'all's feelings, but it is what it is and somebody needs to say it. So let me ask you, if you get laid off from a job, whose fault is that? Is it the employer's job because they were doing cuts? No, it's your job because you didn't add enough value. Because if they didn't lay off everybody in the entire freaking company worldwide, if they didn't lay off everybody, you may have just been the weakest link. Learn how to add so much value to somebody that they can't let you go. You have so much going on in that business that if they let you go, the opportunity cost of letting you go means that they're going to lose so much other opportunity and so much money, they have to keep you on. So it's not their fault they had to cut you. It's your fault they had to cut you because you didn't add enough value to them. Or when you're coming out of college and you're blaming the government and all these other people that you have these student loans. That student loans didn't just magically appear. You decided to take out the student loans. You know, there's a lot of people that went to college and there's a lot of people that didn't go to college. Some that have student loans and some that don't. It's not their fault or everybody else's fault that you decided to take out student loans to fund your college. And by the way, for you to over borrow on your student loans so you could have some fun in college with somebody else's money, not realizing you had to pay it back. That's not their fault. It's your fault because you're the one that signed on the dotted line. Or how about when your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you? You know, that's not their fault, it's your fault for a few different reasons. Maybe you jumped into being in a relationship too fast and you didn't actually understand who that other person was. It was your decision to get into a relationship rather than take it slow and actually learn about the other person. Or maybe you just didn't do what they needed in a relationship. You weren't there for them mentally, you weren't there for them in some other manners that we can't discuss here on YouTube. Basically, long story short, you weren't giving them what they needed. You know, maybe if you took the time to make breakfast for them, to cook dinner for them, to take them out on a date, to call them every night, whatever it is, whatever they needed, if you took the time to do that, they might still be here. It's not their fault they left you. It's something that you didn't do. Or people that blame their childhood for what they don't have today. Your childhood can't be an excuse forever, because I promise you, there's somebody else that came from one of those same neighborhoods that became a success, quote unquote, that made money, that became a millionaire. You can only use that for so long. You know, a childhood is a childhood, and I understand that does have an impact on your future, but it does not have an impact on your future forever without anything else coming into play. There's a lot of decisions that you make along the way to get there as well. So your childhood is only an excuse for so long. Sooner or later, you actually got to wake up and live the life that you want to live and make the decisions that you need to make to get to where you want to go in life. Or what if one of your team members or employees quit and walk off the job? Two reasons this happened. It's not their fault they quit. There's two reasons this happened. You either hired the wrong person, straight like that, or you hired the right person, you just didn't give them enough training and you left them out to dry. So their only option was to walk away and look for a new opportunity. It's not their fault, it's your fault. Or I see this all too often, and this might be one of the worst ones. You drive home drunk. You make a decision to drive your vehicle to the bar, you make a decision to drink at the bar, you then make another decision to overdrink at the bar, and the worst decision of all is choosing to drive home drunk. They have Ubers, they have taxis, they have Lyfts. You can click a couple buttons on your phone and get home without you having to drive, but you wanted to make the decision to drive home drunk. And let's say, God forbid, you were going to get in an accident and hurt somebody else, or hurt yourself. What are you going to blame? Oh, well, it's their fault. They didn't tell me not to drive. They overserved me at the bar. No, you made so many decisions leading up to that. That's on you. Cut it. Stop doing that stuff. When you blame other people for your life, you will never get to where you want to go. And that's just as simple as it gets. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. Take responsibility for your life because it's your life. It's nobody else's. And unfortunately, sometimes, even when it's truly, truly not your fault, you still got to take responsibility for that and look inside of you to figure out what you can do next time to not put yourself in that situation, to not be around those types of people, to not do whatever it is, to not be in that same position again in the future. So what does accepting responsibility actually look like? Instead of saying you're not gifted or you didn't grow up in the right neighborhoods, just go out there and put in the work. You know, if you outwork somebody, you'll get farther. You know, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So if they're gifted, just outwork them. Or simply accepting that you took on debt and you got to figure out a way to pay it off. You know, learn a skill to produce a lot of money to then pay off your debts and your responsibilities. So when a team member or a significant other decides to walk away, don't point the finger at them. Look at yourself and figure out what you didn't do. You didn't give them the time, energy, and effort that they needed. You didn't give them the training that they needed. You made a bad hiring decision. You rushed into it because you needed somebody quickly rather than hiring the right person. Whatever it is, look inside to figure out what you did wrong to not do the same thing wrong on the next go around. At the end of the day, it's becoming the best version of you, living your life to the fullest and the right way. And if you hang around friends that all they do is point fingers at everybody else, you're gonna get in the habit of doing the same thing. You know, I had a friend group and they were talking about, well, that debt, you know, it's not my responsibility. I'm not gonna pay it. They should just forgive all that debt. And I told them straight up, I was like, why would somebody else forgive that debt when you made a decision to take on the debt? Quit making stupid decisions, taking on debt that you can't afford. Pay your responsibilities. And guess what? We really don't talk that much anymore. And I've made bad decisions in my life, you know, and guess what? I've owned it. I've lost money flipping houses. You know, I bought a house, renovated and sold it, and I lost $30,000 on the deal. But guess what? My private money lender, the one that invested in me that I told them I was going to pay them interest, they didn't lose a single penny. And not only did they not lose a single penny, they made $30,000 in profit. So I lost 30, they made 30, but I told them that from the jump. I didn't go back to them when the property sold and be like, hey, you know, unfortunately it took a little bit longer. You know, unfortunately it went a little bit over budget. You know, I'm really not gonna be able to pay you what I told you I was gonna pay. No, I ate it. I took it on the chin and I ate it because I told somebody that's what I was gonna do. So that's what I did. I've invested money into startups before. And guess what? Things went south and the money disappeared because the business didn't succeed. I wasn't sitting there banging on somebody's door like, yo, why'd you do this decision? Yo, I need my money back. Yo, this, yo, that. Nope. I looked at myself. I was like, why did I decide to invest in that company? And what should I have seen that should have showed this red flag so that I didn't invest in them? You know, I want to know what that is so the next time I don't make the same mistake. At the end of the day, like I said, it's living up to be the best you. Being able to look yourself in the mirror and say that you're living your life the best way possible and you're accepting responsibility for the things that happen in your life, not pointing the finger at everybody else. If you point the finger at everybody else, you'll never get to where you want to go. Look at yourself and figure out what you need to do to actually get to where you want to go. So I told you from the beginning, this may upset some people, but that's not my intent here. My intent with you is to keep this as real as possible because somebody has to tell you this. Because if you're living the wrong way, you'll never get ahead to where you want to go in life. So comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's keep it real. Drop a comment below. While you're down there, if you could smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and also hit that subscribe and notification bell, it'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. As always, thank you so much for being here and we'll see you on the next one.